Joan, you don't need to come home this Thanksgiving. Moana's voice cut through the phone line, smooth but cold. Her Nigerian accent carried a sharpness that made the words sting even more. What do you mean I don't need to come home? I asked, trying to steady my voice. It's Thanksgiving, Moana. Family time. She chuckled softly. Family, yes, but sometimes too many cooks spoil the soup. John, and I already planned something simple. Maybe you can stay at school or go with your friends. My heart tightened. I imagined my father, John, sitting quietly as Moana rearranged the family dynamics, excluding me with one carefully chosen phrase. That night, I called Dad directly. Did you know Moana told me not to come home? There was a pause on the line. Then Dad's voice, low, heavy. I didn't know she said it like that. Joan, listen, don't be upset. We'll figure this out. Dad, she doesn't want me there. Fine, but I won't sit around pretending. Let's do something else. Just you and me. Silence again. Then, almost like a spark catching flame, Dad whispered, Escape? Yes, I said, escape. That was the night the idea was born. Not revenge, not rebellion, but something daring to make this Thanksgiving unforgettable. The next day, Dad and I spoke in hurried tones, careful not to let Moana overhear. Joan, if we're doing this, we have to do it right, he said, glancing over his shoulder as though Moana's ears could stretch across continents. Where do you want to go, Dad? I whispered, my heart racing. He smiled a rare, mischievous smile. Somewhere Moana would never imagine. Paradise, the Caribbean, maybe even Bali. I laughed. Dad, you can't just pack up and leave Nigeria for Bali without her noticing. Who says she has to know? He shot back. She told you not to come. Let her have her quiet dinner. Meanwhile, we'll have our own feast. Beachside. I could feel excitement bubbling inside me. So it's settled? You, me, no Moana? Dad nodded slowly, his voice softer now. It's been a long time since it was just us, Joan. Before everything changed, we sat in silence, the weight of Moana's control pressing between us, but now lighter because we had a secret. Finally, I said, This holiday will be ours. She told me not to come home, so I'll take home with me. You'll see, Dad. Moana will never forget this. Moana always had sharp instincts. That evening at dinner, her eyes scanned Dad like a hawk. John, you are distracted. What is on your mind? She asked, breaking a piece of bread with deliberate slowness. Dad shifted uneasily. Just work, Moana. Always work. Work, she repeated, raising a brow. It is Thanksgiving week. Even Lagos traffic slows down for holidays. Do not tell me you are too busy for family. I wanted to laugh at the irony, but instead I bit my tongue. Dad gave me a quick glance, a silent plea for me to stay quiet. Later, as she left the room, Dad leaned close. We'll book the tickets tonight. Keep your phone ready. My pulse quickened. What if she finds out? She won't. And even if she does, what can she say? She was the one who told you not to come. For the first time in months, Dad looked alive, like a man rediscovering freedom. Joan, he said quietly, this is not just a trip. It's a reminder that no one, not even Moana, gets to erase our bond. I nodded, my chest swelling with determination. This was no longer just an escape. It was a declaration. The house was quiet, but my phone with Dad's message, meet me outside. Don't let Moana hear. I tiptoed through the hall like a thief, heart pounding. Outside, Dad leaned against the car, his face half lit by the dim compound lights. Joan, he whispered, I booked the tickets. 2 seats. Flight to Mauritius. Paradise, as promised. My jaw dropped. Dad, Mauritius? That's huge. Won't Moana notice? He smirked. She's too busy controlling the menu for Thanksgiving dinner. Goat meat, jollof rice, yam porridge. She won't notice we're gone until it's too late. I giggled despite myself. And when she does... Dad's eyes softened. Then she'll remember that family isn't something you push away. We talked in hushed tones, excitement wrapping us like a blanket. I confessed, Dad, I almost feel guilty. She is your wife after all. He sighed. She may be my wife, but you're my daughter. That bond runs deeper than her disapproval. And just like that, the fear melted into anticipation. This was no longer about running away. It was about reclaiming us. The next morning, Moana's voice echoed through the house, sharp as broken glass. "John, your phone keeps buzzing." "Who are you talking to at midnight?" she demanded, her Nigerian accent thick with suspicion. Dad coughed, hiding a smile. "Just work emails, Moana." "Work." She narrowed her eyes. "Even in the night? I hope it is not some secret I should know." I sat at the table, stirring my tea, pretending not to listen. But Moana's gaze swung to me. "And you, Joan? Why are you smiling like somebody who has stolen meat from the pot?" I choked on laughter. "Nothing, Moana. Just happy it's holiday season." She studied me a moment longer, then turned away, muttering in Yoruba under her breath. Later, when she stepped outside to take a call, Dad leaned toward me. "We need to leave tomorrow morning. If we wait any longer, she'll sniff us out." I nodded quickly, my pulse racing. "Tomorrow it is." But even as we agreed, I felt Moana's eyes boring into us from afar. She wasn't done asking questions. The morning came with the smell of fried plantain and suspicion. Moana bustled in the kitchen, humming, but her tone was too sharp, too forced. "John, are you going to the office today?" she asked suddenly, wiping her hands on her wrapper. "Yes," Dad replied smoothly, grabbing his briefcase. "Urgent meeting." "And Joan?" Her eyes flicked to me. "Where are you going with that small bag?" "Library." I forced a smile. "Yes, Moana. Group study. Might be gone all day." Her eyes lingered on me, searching for cracks in my lie. Finally, she shrugged. Children of nowadays." We left quickly, hearts pounding. The driver dropped us at the airport, and for the first time in weeks, I felt air rush into my lungs freely. "Dad," I whispered as we checked in, "we actually did it." He squeezed my hand. "We're on our way to freedom, Joan. Paradise awaits." But as we boarded the plane, I couldn't shake the thought of Moana back at home, stirring her pot of jollof, realizing too late that her control had slipped away. And that realization would haunt her more than anything. Moana paced the living room, her braids swinging furiously as she spoke on the phone. "Hello, airline office?" "Yes, I'm looking for a booking. John Ade, and his daughter, Joan." The attendant hesitated. "Madam, I am sorry. We cannot release passenger information." Moana slammed her palm against the table. "Nonsense. Do you know who I am? They cannot hide from me." She ended the call abruptly, her nostrils flaring. The housekeeper peeked from the corner. "Madam, are you all right?" Moana turned sharply. "Do I look all right? My husband has flown away with his daughter without me." Her voice cracked with both anger and betrayal. She gripped the edge of the sofa, muttering under her breath. "So, Joan thinks she can win. She wants to make me small in John's eyes. I will not allow it." Pulling her phone again, she dialed a travel agent. Her lips curved into a cold smile. "Book me the next flight to Mauritius." "Yes, I am coming." On the white sands of Mauritius, Dad and I laughed as the waves chased us. I kicked water at him, and he dodged, laughing harder than I'd heard in years. "Joan," he said, breathless, "you've brought life back into me. I feel 20 years younger." I smiled, my high ponytail dripping with seawater. "And you brought me peace, Dad. I haven't felt this free in so long." We lay on beach chairs, sipping cool drinks. The turquoise water stretched endlessly, and for a moment, it felt like the world had forgotten us. But I couldn't shake the thought. "Dad, do you think Moana will just let this go?" He adjusted his sunglasses, sighing. "She's angry, yes, but maybe this will make her see that she cannot control everything. Maybe she'll change." I raised an eyebrow. "Moana? Change? Dad, you know her. She will fight before she gives up control." His smile faded slightly, but he reached over, squeezing my hand. "Whatever happens, Joan, we face it together. No regrets." I nodded, though a part of me still felt uneasy. like the waves carried a storm just beyond The airplane doors opened, and Moana stepped onto Mauritian soil, her braided hair neatly tied back, green dress flowing around her legs. Her eyes burned with determination. "So this is where they think they can hide," she muttered, dragging her suitcase across the bright terminal. A taxi driver approached politely. "Madam, where you headed?" "To the best beachfront resort," she snapped. "And be quick about it." As the taxi sped through palm-lined roads, Moana's lips twisted. She pictured John and Joan laughing together, as if she didn't exist. Rage boiled in her chest. "John," she whispered, her voice low and venomous, "you belong to me, and Joan, she will learn that no daughter can ever replace a wife." She leaned back, determination set in her sharp eyes. "By tonight, they will know I am here, and this holiday will not end the way they imagine." The evening sky glowed orange as Dad and I strolled back from the beach, our feet dusted with sand. I was laughing about the waiter who tried to teach me Creole, when Dad suddenly grew quiet. "What's wrong?" I asked, glancing up. He frowned, eyes narrowing toward the resort entrance. I thought I saw someone watching us. I turned, my ponytail swinging. "Who?" Before he could answer, the crowd shifted, and I caught a glimpse, a green dress, braids, eyes locked on us from a distance. My stomach dropped. "Dad," I whispered urgently, "that's Moana." He clenched his jaw, muttering, "Already?" She didn't waste time. We hurried to our villa, locking the door behind us. My pulse raced. What do we do now? She'll storm in. Dad placed a hand on my shoulder. "We won't run this time. Joan, if she came all this way, then we face her." I swallowed hard, nodding, but in my heart, I knew Moana didn't just come. The knock came sharp and steady. "John, open this door." Moana's voice was low, commanding. Dad stood frozen. I whispered, "Don't open it," but his eyes softened. "Joan, she's my wife. We can't hide forever." The door swung open. Moana stepped in, braids glistening, her green dress flowing like a storm cloud. She scanned the room, her gaze cutting into me before settling on John. "So," she said coldly, "this is your big holiday? Running away with your daughter, leaving me behind?" "Moana," John began gently, "it wasn't about leaving you. It was about—" "Don't lie," she snapped, her accent thick with anger. "You wanted freedom from me, ABI? And you, Joan," her eyes pinned me, "you think you can take my place beside him?" I stepped forward, trembling but firm. "I don't want your place, Moana. I just want my father. That's all." The room buzzed with tension. Moana's lips curved into a bitter smile. "We will see about that." The three of us sat in the villa's lounge, the air thick like a storm about to break. "John," Moana said, her voice quieter now but laced with venom, "you humiliated me. Thanksgiving without me? Do you know how people will talk? A wife abandoned." Dad leaned forward, his beard catching the lamplight. "Moana, nobody abandoned you. You told Joan not to come home. Do you remember?" Her braids swayed as she shook her head fiercely. "That was not rejection, it was space. But you twisted it." I cut in, unable to stay silent. "Space? You froze me out of my own home. You wanted me gone so you could control Dad without interference." Moana's eyes flicked to me, blazing. "And you, always meddling. You think your father is a toy you can carry away." John raised his hand firmly. "Enough, both of you. This trip is not about rivalry. It's about peace." But the peace was fragile, cracking under every word. The night dragged on. Moana sat stiffly on the sofa, arms crossed, her green dress rustling with every sharp movement. "John, I came all this way. I will not be sent back like a fool," she said bitterly. He rubbed his forehead. "Moana, no one wants to shame you. But you must see, this tension between you and Joan is tearing us apart." Her gaze darted between us. "So what? You choose her over me?" The silence was heavy. I looked at Dad, my heart pounding. He glanced at me, then back at Moana. "I choose truth," he said finally. "And the truth is, our family cannot survive if you keep trying to push Joan out." Moana stood abruptly, her braids swaying, eyes flashing with wounded pride. Then I will make my own choice. If you both want paradise without me, fine. But paradise will not last. She stormed out of the villa, the door slamming like thunder. I exhaled shakily. Dad, what now? He sighed deeply. Now, Joan, we brace ourselves. Because Moana never leaves without a plan. The next morning, Dad and I sat on the villa's balcony, sipping coffee as the ocean waves danced below. For a moment, it almost felt normal, until I spotted her. Moana, in her green dress, stood on the far side of the resort, her braids catching the morning light. She wasn't hiding. She wanted us to see her. Dad, I whispered, my grip tightening on the mug. She's here again. John followed my gaze, his expression tightening. She won't let this rest. She's planning something. Moments later, our villa phone rang. Dad answered. John. Moana's voice slid to the receiver, calm but sharp. We are having dinner tonight. No excuses. You will come with Joan. If not, I will make sure everyone in this resort knows what you have done. John sighed heavily, his voice firm. Moana, threats won't fix this. Her laugh was short, bitter. Threats? No, this is a promise. Tonight, John. She hung up, leaving silence behind. I stared at Dad, my heart pounding. Dad, what if this is a trap? He set the phone down, determination etched in his features. Then we'll walk into it. But together. The restaurant's candlelight flickered as the three of us sat at a small round table. The sea breeze drifted in, but the tension was thicker than the humid air. Moana leaned back, her braids resting on her shoulders, eyes sharp. So, tell me, John, was this your idea or hers? She nodded toward me. Dad took a steady breath. It was ours. Joan and I wanted peace. We wanted joy. Moana slammed her hand against the table. Joy without me? Your wife. I leaned forward, my ponytail brushing my shoulder. Moana, you didn't want me home. You said it yourself. She turned to me, lips curling. I gave you space. But you twisted my words. You want to paint me as the villain. Dad's voice rose slightly, controlled but firm. Moana, you've made Joan feel unwanted for years. Can't you see? This isn't about choosing between you. It's about accepting that she is part of my life, always. For a moment, Moana's eyes softened, but then she scoffed. You speak like I am the outsider. I am your wife. And I am his daughter. I snapped, my voice shaking but strong. The table fell into silence, the sound of the waves filling the gap. It felt like the beginning of a war, or the end of one. We walked out of the restaurant, the night heavy around us. Moana followed, her green dress flowing like a shadow. John, she called, her voice almost breaking. You're choosing her over me, aren't you? Dad turned, his face etched with pain. I'm not choosing, Moana. I'm asking you to stop fighting what is already true. Joan is my family. She cannot be erased. Tears glittered in Moana's eyes, but her pride was stronger. She pointed at me, her braids trembling as she shook her head. You win, Joan. But remember, one day you'll have a husband, and you will know what it means when someone tries to take him away. I stepped closer, my voice softer now. Moana, I never wanted to take him away. I just wanted him to still be mine, too. There's room for both of us, if you'd only stop fighting. For a long moment, she stood frozen, torn between anger and exhaustion. Then she turned abruptly, walking away into the night, leaving her words hanging behind like smoke. Dad sighed deeply. I don't know if we've lost her or if she's finally listening. I slipped my hand into his. Whatever happens, Dad, we face her together. That's what. The next morning, the resort was quiet, the waves calm as though the ocean itself knew a storm had passed. Dad and I sat on the balcony again, sipping fresh juice. So, I said softly, do you think she'll come back? John stroked his beard, gazing at the horizon. Moana is proud, but she is also human. Maybe this was the wake-up call she needed. Maybe she will return differently, or maybe she won't. But either way, Joan, I know now what I almost forgot. You and I will never be separated. Tears pricked my eyes, but I smiled. Thank you, Dad. This was the best Thanksgiving ever. Even with the drama. He chuckled. The kind we'll never forget. As we walked along the beach one last time, I thought about Moana, about her pain, her pride, and her fury. She wasn't gone from our lives, but perhaps now she understood. I was not a rival. I was family. The waves kissed our feet, the sky opened wide, and for the first time in years, I felt whole. Paradise had not just been a place. It had been a choice, our choice, and it was ours to keep.